I'm sad to report that after a month and probably 2 weeks of trying, I threw my sourdough starter out. Over a month of trying and I was done. I gave up. I could not get that thing to rise. I tried so many different things, so many different techniques. I got a heating pad for it, like a mat. I put it in the oven with the light on. I turned our heat on in our house and still I could not get that baby to rise. And my ego is definitely bruised because then I decided to get the Eve sourdough starter dehydrated. I really wanted to say that I did this from scratch. I started all the way from the bottom, made it my own, made my own starter, then made my own sourdough bread, but now I cannot say that. That hurts a little. I'm definitely upset with myself, but all I'm saying is this better freaking work. This better freaking work. So we're gonna do the steps together. We're gonna document this whole thing because I didn't document my other one. Maybe we need some like love on this, so we're gonna do it together. It's nice, it comes with all these instructions on how to rehydrate Eve and then how to keep this starter going. For today, for the first step, all I have to do is put this full packet in a clean glass jar. Ooh, that smells like sourdough starter. Not like I would know. Now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of room temperature water. Added my 3 tablespoons of water and now I just stir and let this sit for an hour. We'll be right back. It has been an hour. This is what it is looking like. I'm gonna give it a good mix and then do the next step. Now we're going to do the next step, which is to add 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to be using the exact same bread flour that she uses in her video so that, again, we can just have like the best success here, hopefully. We now just have to stir really well, no clumps, very smooth. I followed the steps. I just watched her video on how to rehydrate Eve. She put a rubber band around to measure the growth if there is any. Now I'm just gonna cover it loosely and let it sit on my countertop for 24 hours. We'll be back tomorrow to see what this is looking like and to do day 2 steps. It is day 2 of rehydrating our sourdough starter Eve, and this is what we're working with. There's a lot going on in here. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see better, but look at all those bubbles. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Look at all those bubbles. Look at all that action. I did not see bubbles like this with my sourdough starter, so I'm already feeling so much better. Let's get into our day 2 steps. Once your starter has sat for 24 hours, it's time for its first feed. Remove the lid and add 2 tablespoons of flour and 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of room temperature filtered water. Once again, I'm using the bread flour that she's using in her starter, and that is the King Arthur unbleached bread flour. I can't find my tablespoon, so we're just gonna do a 1/2 tablespoon. So 4 of these. 1 to 1.5 tablespoons room temperature filtered water. I'm gonna start with just 1 tablespoon. 2 of these. Oops, oh, it's a little more. In all the sourdough recipe videos I see, it says to never use metal when mixing, so I always use a rubber spatula. They said you can use like a wooden dowel too. So I mix it up between using the spatula part or also just the top of this. Now, obviously, we're just gonna mix this up until we get like a thick pancake batter consistency. We don't want it to be runny, but we also don't want it to be too thick. It says stir to combine and cover loosely and let it sit at room temperature for another 24 hours. So that is it for day 2. I am so excited, you have no idea. I think that is a great consistency. I'm slightly nervous because it's not like really warm in my house. I just get so nervous about the temperature, knowing that this does better in warmer temperatures. I'm gonna adjust my rubber band as well. Actually, just a little bit higher. All right, and day 2 of rehydrating Eve is complete. I'm back tomorrow for day 3, which is repeating today's steps. And oh, wow, it says you might start noticing bubbles tomorrow. We noticed some today. I'm so excited. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good about this. It is day 3 of rehydrating Eve, And today's steps are just repeating exactly what we did yesterday, and that is it. So I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of flour and about 1.5 tablespoons of room temperature water and see what happens. Yesterday, we saw incredible action. This baby rose all the way up to here yesterday, and I was just the happiest ever. So proud of Eve girl. She is absolutely insane. Just like yesterday, there's lots of bubbles going on in there. She's ready to be fed. I'm feeling pretty dang confident that by like Thursday, I will be able to make a loaf of bread. Even though she did have that big rise yesterday, I'm still going to follow these steps here. It says tomorrow that we're gonna give it a bigger feed. I'm gonna follow those directions. I'll put it into a new jar since it is gonna be a bigger feed. But just because she had that amazing rise yesterday, I'm not gonna jump the gun here. We're not gonna mess anything up. I'm going to follow these steps here. She's mixed up real good, so now I'm going to adjust my rubber band again. And yeah, definitely today, if we see the same rise as yesterday, I'm gonna have to put her into a new jar because yesterday it was like all the way up to here. So today might be a little close to the top. Now we are just going to loosely cover again and leave on the counter for 24 hours. I'm sure I will be back at some time again today in awe of the growth that she's about to do, because yesterday I was just beyond myself and how amazing it was looking. This is day 4 of rehydrating Eve, and today I'm going to be moving her into a larger jar because she is active. And today we are doing a larger feed. So we've been doing 2 tablespoons of flour and like 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of water. Today it's gonna be a bigger feed. Once again, as you can see, she almost more than doubled in size and lots and lots of bubbles. I'm gonna mix this around a little and then just dump it into this clean, bigger glass jar that I have. This morning we are going to be doing a 1/2 cup of flour and about a 1/4 cup of room temperature water. Give it a good mix. It might need a little bit more water if it's too thick, but right now it's not looking too thick. Maybe. It is a little too thick, so I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Probably just about like a tablespoon's worth for now. All right, Eve is all mixed up. Now I'm just going to lightly cover again, put the rubber band on, and let sit for 24 hours. I'm thinking that if she doubles in size today, not tomorrow because I have 2 appointments, but I'm thinking Thursday, if she doubles in size tomorrow and Thursday, I will start the bread making process so that then by Friday, we will be baking the bread and eating it. All right, and there we have it for day 4. Come back for day 5 tomorrow, where we're gonna do the same exact thing, but assess if then we'll be starting day 6 bread making. It is day 5 of rehydrating Eve. As you can see, once again, we have grown significantly. And if this happens again today, when it's at its peak, I'm going to do the float test to see if it is actually ready and active. And if it passes, then tomorrow we're gonna start the bread making process. Today we are just doing the exact same thing we did yesterday. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Look at that beauty. I'm gonna give it a little mix. And now just add 1/2 cup of flour and about a 1/4 cup of room temperature water, but yesterday I needed a little more, so I'm sure I'm going to need a little more today. I'm gonna do that right away. Yeah. I am slightly nervous for this today because in Texas today, it is cooler, way cooler. I just got back from a walk with my dog and that's why my cheeks are so rosy. So I'm really hoping that she's thriving like she has been the past few days. Also, if she passes the float test today, that is amazing, and I will discard half tomorrow then when it's time for feeding, and I will start doing discard recipes. Cannot freaking wait. All right, she is fully mixed. So now I'm just going to adjust my rubber band and now cover loosely, and we'll be back in 4 to 6 hours to see her growth and to do a float test. All right, I'm about to run out the door for my acupuncture appointment, but I have to do our float test and also show you this. Y'all, it has reached the top. I already took the lid off and it was absolutely insane. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the same reaction. Yeah, just about. Absolutely insane. We're gonna do the float test quick to see if this sucker, I mean, how can that not be active? But we're gonna do the float test just to see and just for funsies. I'm gonna take just like a little chunk. I hope this is like okay to be doing. I don't wanna ruin it. Okay. It's falling back down. I hope that's okay. All right, can you see that? You can see that. Float test, let's see. I have never had a successful float test, so I'm nervous for this. Heck yeah, that's a pass. She's floating. She's active and ready to go. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to put this back on. We're not gonna do anything for the rest of the day. We're going to come back tomorrow, do all the steps that we did today, except actually I'm going to discard because clearly there's not enough room in this jar. I'm gonna discard, save that discard because clearly she can be used now. And then tomorrow, we're gonna start the bread making process. I am going to do the steps to start a sourdough loaf. I cannot believe that I'm able to say that. Me who struggled for over a month plus to do my own and struggle is so happy to finally say that. Yay.